Good Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Don Paul here on my YouTube channel, Don Paul Blathers. And by the way, if you find this channel does provide you a valuable service from time to time, please remember to hit the subscribe button on the screen below the video. And one of the reasons I'm doing a Friday evening update on the potential for severe weather in Western New York tomorrow, not for the whole day, but for a portion of it, a potential, is because I don't really like what I'm seeing. So I want to give you a heads up. Tomorrow will be the trickiest of the weekend days. And if you want to get my complete holiday weekend forecast, you can go to the Buffalo News online edition. And there you will find my forecast through Memorial Day and then even an extended outlook as we get on through next week with more pattern changes ahead. Here we're looking at some thunderstorms that are boiling up over northeast Iowa and also some back in Missouri. And this part of the country has already had so much severe weather. And this moisture is going to be streaming toward us. And it looks like as we get through the day tomorrow, the amount of water vapor available to make rain is going to be very, very high, especially in the afternoon. So there is a twofold risk. There is the risk of some isolated, very heavy downpours, and there is the risk of some strong to severe thunderstorms, especially later in the day. The Storm Prediction Center, in fact, has us at slight risk, all of Western New York, for severe thunderstorms. With their definition, the primary damage potential would be from straight line winds if, in fact, storms become severe. Here's a look at a high resolution model, and this is the latest run, for about 8 o'clock in the morning. And at that time, we may have a quick bout with some heavy but not severe showers and thunderstorms. These are the wind barbs showing the surface winds are from the south, so there's no real cooling Lake Erie breeze. Lake Erie's at 51. Of course, humidity will be going up rapidly during the pre-dawn hours into the morning. And then we go ahead to the next hour, and the model is projecting some heavy thunderstorms down around Chautauqua County and some crossing the Niagara frontier. But there is going to be, after that first batch goes by, we have good indications of a lot of rain-free time, and temperatures are going to be taking a jump along with the humidity. Note the wind direction still from the south during much of the day. And if this model were on the money, it's got us largely rain-free as we get into early afternoon, and the winds are still from the south, but getting to see a little bit of a southwest trend that could stabilize the atmosphere a bit around Niagara County, say late in the afternoon. Here's around 4 o'clock, and some newly developed thunderstorms in the model are showing up in the southern tier. But it's late in the day and the early evening hours when we are most concerned, because this model has consistently been showing, and this model runs every 3 hours, a rapid intensification of thunderstorms. And it is a high resolution model, which is important. It's not foolproof by any means. It's important because these are small scale features in the atmosphere. And here we come up to about 7 o'clock in the evening, and this is showing strong, very strong thunderstorms just to our west on the Niagara Peninsula. And note the wind barbs from the south, not coming in off 51-degree Lake Erie. So we're not getting that stabilizing breeze except along the Niagara River, perhaps. Here are the winds at the surface. One of the signs I'm not liking is when we go up 5,000 feet and look at the wind directions up at that altitude and see the wind barbs. They're not from the south, they're from the west-southwest. That is a kind of wind shear, where when the winds veer from south to west with increased altitude, that can help to produce a supercell thunderstorm and some rotation. I'm not saying there are going to be tornadoes, but it is something to keep an eye on. Let's go back to the progression of these storms as the model sees them. Now, don't forget, we are now at 7 o'clock in the evening, and it's possible the model is overdoing the intensity, but it is showing torrential downpours with these storms at 7 o'clock, and then we move ahead an hour, and it's got these strong to possibly severe thunderstorms over us right around 8 o'clock in the evening, including the metro area, and also a batch heading toward the southern tier. Let's put the winds in. and see what the low-level winds are looking like. Again, we're not seeing evidence of a stabilizing Lake Erie breeze, except maybe along the immediate Niagara River. We have a land breeze from the south, and we move ahead from 8 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock in the evening, and the storms in the model are beginning to drop south of Buffalo, but we're seeing an awful lot of intensity in terms of rainfall, maybe some hail. And again, the winds at the surface from the south-southwest, let's see what they're looking like at 5,000 feet. And we go to lower dynamics for that and see how much wind shear there is. South-southwest at the surface from the west at 5,000 feet. That is what's called directional wind shear, and it does trouble me a little bit. While there's been talk from the Storm Prediction Center of only damaging straight line winds, with that kind of wind shear, I would put in at least a remote risk of isolated tornadoes with some of these storms. Remote means remote. You're not likely to see one, but I want you to have a heads up. And then we get past the early evening hours and these strong storms begin to move out of our area. And that'll do it for any severe weather threat. So some brief heavy thunderstorms early in the day, 7, 8 in the morning in this model, and then some strong to severe storms toward the dinner hour into the early evening. And then things really do settle down for Sunday. We'll go quickly into that. We may see a few light showers on Sunday, but most of Sunday will be partly to mostly cloudy, and at most a few spotty light showers. Most, if not all of the day, in most locations should be rain-free. And the best news of all is for Memorial Day itself. We'll be dry, crisp, upper 60s to low 70s for high. By the way, the Sunday morning marathon will have temperatures in the low 60s with light winds. So pretty good conditions for that marathon, and nobody's going to get soaked. Memorial Day will be dry, very good conditions for the solemn memorial ceremonies in the morning, as well as all the happier Memorial Day parades which follow. So that's the basic picture. I just wanted to fill you in. And again, tomorrow, the key addition to these models will be what the weather balloons find at 7 a.m. when they're all launched from Buffalo and Detroit and from Southwest Ohio. The balloons all go up at the same time. They take a sample of the atmosphere as they ascend, how much water vapor there is, what winds, what direction the winds are taking with increased altitude. So we'll have an update if and when necessary tomorrow, probably by late morning, on the severe weather potential for later tomorrow. In the meantime, have a safe night. And again, please hit the subscribe button, because that is what will keep this channel going if you think it's worthwhile. And if you like it, tell your friends. And if you don't like it, tell your enemies.